Warning. Warning. If you hear something that makes you upset on the broadcast, true, opinion, or otherwise, you are free to sign off or go to another channel. If you can't, please contact the displayed number below to seek help. Trolling and hate watching is more serious than you think. Now back to our scheduled broadcast.
He's in the walls. He's in the goddamn wall!
Yo, this is Kev. Subscribe because it's not a bad idea. Like the video and hype the video because there's a button for that. This channel is brutally honest. So let's not beat around the bush here. In these virtual spaces, on social media, and in these streets, everybody wants to run to the TL, grab a mic, hop on their soapbox and claim they own an idea. Sounds familiar? Let's add some nuance. When these conversations include standing together against racism with activism, which includes actual resistance art, these talks hit a whole new level, especially for myself, born and raised in a civil rights hotbed like Montgomery, Alabama. What brings us here? Does anybody watching remember that young lady who went viral maybe a year or two ago wearing a t-shirt of her design depicting a hanging Klansman, and on the back of the shirt were the words "Kill the Klan," inside of a Walmart where she was met with some unsavory feedback? Though I do not encourage violence, I have no problem with this kind of messaging, seeing the bloody history of the Ku Klux Klan and the many atrocities the KKK committed against Black Americans for decades. So this young lady named Keiajah, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but she refers to herself as KJ, has gone viral again on social media, this time calling out pro skater and graphics designer Alfonso Alf Rawls, owner of Everybody Skates, accusing him of stealing her t-shirt design. Why? Because both shirts feature a hanging hooded Klansman graphic. Now, of course, the internet did what the internet does before getting all of the facts straight, jumping on the outrage train and started yapping about theft. But when you look at the actual history of skate culture, the basic logic of IP, and most importantly, receipts, her complaints completely fall flat. Okay, first of all, let's get some history straight, because this whole hanging Klansman imagery wasn't conceptualized on Instagram or TikTok in the past 2 and 3 years. We got to go back a little further, like 1991. Real Skateboards launched, dropping a pro deck for skater Jim Thiebaud, featuring a design fashioned by Nadas Kappas and Kevin Whitehead. The pro deck design was an illustrated image of a hooded Klansman hanging from a tree. During the late 1980s going into the 90s, famous talk shows often featured guests who were members of the Aryan Nation and the KKK, who were making a resurgence during that time. So this imagery on Thiebaud's pro deck was a direct, unapologetic stand against systemic racial terror and WS white supremacy, dropping right in the middle of skate culture over 30 years ago. And beyond skateboarding, slogans like "Kill the Klan" and anti-racist, anti-KKK graphics designs have always been a core part of civil rights protest art, hardcore punk aesthetics, and street resistance for over half a century. This has always been the tradition of activism through art. It wasn't created for an influencer's social media aesthetic, and it sure as hell wasn't made so somebody could claim exclusive rights to a t-shirt concept design in 2024. So let's look at the actual dispute and apply some common sense. In this video, KJ's argument is that Alf stole her idea because both shirts had a hanging Klansman on the front. Alf's counter argument is that the inspiration for his shirt was from Thiebaud's pro deck design. Let's watch.
His out before mine.
So this is the post that I woke up to this morning. Let's check it out and we'll break it down.
This goofy goober owns Everybody Skates. He sells another hanging Klansman design. He's mad because people sent me his design. I thought ours were similar, so I confronted him on my story about it. He then confirmed he put his out before mine. So I sent him my design file. He put his out in 2023, but we made ours in 2022. Like, this took 6 months of rough sketching to do. So I made mine before his. So now him and Andrew are trying to link up and trying to attack me because, nigga, you wanted a public apology while I had the flu and you were mad you didn't get it, and you're a fucking thief and a scum.
I had the great pleasure of meeting Miss Keiajah about a year ago when she made a post accusing me of stealing her design, referring to the Burning Klansman. Skate fam, chime in and let Miss Keiajah know that in 1991, Jim Thiebaud had a hanging Klansman on a skateboard deck for Real Skateboards, and that's where my inspiration came from. Anyhow, her accusations were met with a timestamp post that completely contradicted her claim, so she admitted that I could not have stolen her design and agreed to make a post clearing up her mistake.
He put his out before mine.
A week passes, I see no post, so I reach out to remind her, and she ignored me. And another week passes, and I reach out to remind her again, like, where's that post that you said you were going to do? She claims that she has the flu. So it took you a minute to accuse me, but you don't want to take a minute to clear it up.
He put his out before mine.
So she gets upset and makes another post, calling me a thief again.
He put his out before mine.
What I realized is that she went so hard in claiming that she originated this design that honoring her public apology would contradict her claims of originality.
He put his out before mine.
Fast forward to yesterday, a post was made on a mutual page promoting another Hanging Klansman design by a gentleman by the name of Andrew. I saw it and immediately spotted Keiajah's comments claiming rights and ownership to the designs and threatening to sue like she did me just a year ago. Given our history, I thought I'd chime in with my stories as it was relevant to the discussion. And as you can imagine, my truths weren't met with praise, as it would completely contradict the campaign that she's been on for the past year, trying to convince everybody that she originated this idea.
He put his out before mine.
In her post yesterday, she's now claiming that although I released my rendition in 2023, that I somehow stole her design, although she didn't present it or post it anywhere until 2024, a year later.
He put his out before mine.
I think the part that gets me is that despite her admitting on one part of her message that my art came before hers, I have people from her page coming on to my post still accusing me of stealing her artwork. Make it make sense.
He put his out before mine.
The thought of conflict between black folks over shit like this, quite frankly, is embarrassing. It's enough to battle an endless supply of white racists every day, but to have to defend myself from other black folks?
He put his out before mine.
It's sickening. I'll leave you with this. The onslaught of uneducated accusations coming from her page yesterday, it just really made me realize all of the innocent men prosecuted, sitting in jail, innocent, all because of lies. Be good.
He put his out before mine. He put his out before mine. He put his out before mine.
I hear you, Alf. 100% heard and felt. You're a black man. And one of the saddest realizations I came to a long time ago is that our own black people will look to deny us grace instead of giving it to us. She could have just made the apology video and moved forward. She claimed she had the flu, and actually her being sick is very plausible, but maybe not from the flu. You see, women are allergic to accountability, and that's what issuing that apology would have required. Now, here's where her logic fails. Under actual copyright law, there's a massive difference between a specific drawing and an idea. If somebody copies and pastes your exact digital vector line by line, meaning if Alf used KJ's exact design, then yes, that is theft. But nobody owns the abstract concept of hanging a Klansman. Alf's brand, Everybody Skates, is built on homage, remix, and paying respect to skate history, specifically continuing the lineage started by Jim Thiebaud in 1991. Alf even states in the clip that that's where he got his inspiration for his t-shirt. But here's the knockout punch, the part that makes KJ's whole argument look goofy, the timeline. Alf released his version of the shirt in 2023. KJ didn't even post her shirt or put it out into the public eye until 2024. If you were listening to the clip, she admits he confirmed it, but to save face, showed the file dated in 2022 when she did her design. That really doesn't matter when she did it. First, if she didn't release it, and second, Jim Thiebaud's design from 1991 was the original anyway. Think about it. What is there to say that KJ herself did not Google Hanging Klansman, ran across pictures of Thiebaud's pro deck, and educated herself on the legal reality of intellectual property and copyright laws, just like I did when making this video? I tell y'all this, always check the receipts before you start your clout chasing on social media. Okay. Speaking of that, this brings me to the real problem. That is how social media clout culture turns heavy, serious history into cheap internet drama. Real world activism is supposed to be about collective liberation, standing on a cause that's bigger than your personal ego, genuine conviction for the message. But when a political statement pivots into social media call-outs, hot takes, and yammering over who gets the credit, the focus flips from fighting bigotry to chasing engagement and protecting t-shirt sales. If you want to see the difference between real-world conviction and online gatekeeping, just look at Stefano's situation. He went viral for getting kicked out of his gym for wearing Keiajah's exact Hanging Klansman t-shirt. Keiajah got sneered at for wearing it inside of a Walmart, while Stefano took real-world and consequential backlash for standing on that message. Stefano, being a graphics designer himself, reached out to Keiajah to collaborate, but got brushed off, and he eventually made his own version of the shirt. But even after threats of legal action, Keiajah's public beratement of him, and heat from her followers, Stefano still says he promote her shirt. Why? Because to him, the anti-hate message was bigger than who gets the credit on the internet. That's what real solidarity looks like, when you care more about the cause than guarding a brand aesthetic. Salute to both Andrew Stefano and Mr. Alf of Everybody Skates. I will be including some important links in this video description, so if you can, show these people some love and support. Looking at Keiajah and how she handled everything makes you think about who she is really doing this for. Going viral for wearing her t-shirt in the first place must have been a huge dopamine hit with all the attention and support that she got. The way she went about addressing both Alf and Andrew Stefano with the accusations and name calling, Keiajah looked more like she was performing for the algorithm and less like the activist she proclaims herself to be. I mean, what kind of activist writes a diss song about Klay Thompson because she looks at Megan Thee Stallion as a role model? And all of this is on her IG page. But that's besides the point. If your goal is fighting white supremacy, seeing that message everywhere is a win. But if your primary goal is selling t-shirts and getting followers, seeing someone else use that message feels like a threat. At the end of the day, what the fuck does it matter who uses the message? But do you know what does matter? History matters, logic matters, and the receipts don't lie. Any thoughts? Leave a comment. Long live the habitual line steppers.
This for Klay Thompson, you a bitch. Fuck Klay Thompson, you ugly ass. Now we don't rock with the Mavs. Y'all fucking trash.